Teemu, okay.
Okay, I have a microphone here. Can you hear me? Okay, I think. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, Rafael. Excellent presentation, very impressive. And my name is, I don't know, did you introduce me? Because I didn't understand it as a word, but my name is Teemu Nivell. I'm coming from the Tekla. And let's take a look at how many of you know Tekla as a company. 30% about. What about Tekla structures? The same. X-Steel. Okay, less than Tekla structures. That's good to hear. I liked one actually argument that Rafael said that what BIM is, it's not a Revit, so I have satisfied already to this day. But it's not neither Tekla, of course. And my topic is today BIM, part of the construction company strategy. And I try to give some kind of examples from Finland. By the way, I'm a Finn. I am made it in Finland, and I think I have born as well in Finland. So my native language is no English, so if there's some confusion, so you can interrupt me. But about the topic, how this works, agenda. What BIM really is, Rafael already said some word about what BIM is. I think it's you have much more better explanation for BIM, more academical, but I want to emphasize some things from the contractor point of view, what BIM is, and from the Tekla point of view, and how we can combine BIM and construction company strategy successful. We have very good examples in Finland, and I try to keep this presentation more courage here in Estonia rather than the sales presentation of Tekla. And should we take a small steps or giant leap in order to adapt the BIM to construction company? And what is pulling the BIM handbrake at the moment? Because there is obviously this kind of opposition always when we are talking about the change in generally. So especially in Finland, I have noticed recently that we have had quite negative articles in our media. So I'm a little bit worried about that because I would say that in Finland, even in Newsweek magazine actually announced some kind of results of research that what is the best country, what is the best country in the world? And guess what? Which one was the number one? It was Finland. But the next day, in Finland media published that no, that cannot be true, that even Switzerland is much, much better than Finland. So we are not proud of that. We have a very good knowledge about BIM and how we should advance it. And we have very good engineering offices, we have software vendors, and we have good construction companies, we have very good examples. We will hear later on about the Skanska's case where BIM is very successful implemented. And what deliverables successful BIM strategy could be offered to the construction company? Last but not least. Okay, so what BIM is, of course, everybody knows in this room that it means building information modeling. And in practice in Finland, if I go to outside the capital area, I go to the building site. If I say the BIM, there is any clue what BIM really means. Of course, it raises all the time awareness, and there happened already change. But when I came a couple of years ago to Tekla, I didn't know what BIM is, really. Even I haven't used it. When I talk about the 3D at the site there, okay, it's something geometrical information indeed for 3D format. But when you talk about the BIM to the contractors, we should more emphasize building information management, because this building information model as a geometrical model, geometrical information, it's just the beginning of BIM for contractors. And the question is that for a contractor, that how I should utilizing this building information, information, this geometrical information. If we look at the project management, this is the project management day, so let's talk about a few words about the project management. It's managing a scope, cost, and money. And in order to manage these three factors, we need always quantities. based on that information. And that's what we can get from the model. So it's very important for a contractor. But if you look at the definition explanation from the internet, Wikipedia or Building Smart's explanation, it's already in this management. If you read through these statements, it really tells that it's also management information. But if you go, as I said, to the building side, BIM, or in Finnish it's a tietomallinnus, it doesn't tell anything about for practical site peoples. Okay, how to combine BIM and strategy successful? I would say, and turn this sentence is that without strategic decisions, BIM cannot succeed. It needs to be comes from the upstreams. And I will show a couple cases in Finland how management level has decided that the BIM will be adapted vertically and horizontally in a construction company. And at the moment I have had actually privilege to follow from side Finnish contractors how they try to adapt BIM in their processes. And unfortunately, very usually it's some kind of bustling. It's an isolated group in the company, and everybody look at them like these are those BIM dorks. They are doing some kind of dork things that, and it's not implemented through company-widely, and that's the problem. And then we are wasting this kind of unsucceeded pilots, and then we are forget it for a while BIM. And this is a lot of chicken egg situation at the moment in some companies. They are claiming that the software, they are not ready, and sometimes we don't have a knowledge now how to use it. But actually technology is already so far that we can really utilizing and adapting our existing processes or change our existing processes by utilizing existing softwares. But it needs more than IT and industry know-how. It needs change management and leadership. As Rafael said, I really like it that the BIM, adapting BIM is a more social exercise than a technical exercise. That's very, I agree 100%. And I have noticed, I think that Johan in his presentation later on will tell you about in practice how Skanska has done this, but it's what I have noticed when I'm looking from the side, this Skanska's adaptation, that they have very, very well succeeded to implement it to site. And they have had a very good leadership and change management. We need different kind of people, not just these BIM dorks. We need the leadership in order to push forward this BIM through the company. Of course, only BIM can fulfill the company's vision. And if you look at the strategy, it's a plan to go to vision. Strategy is that. So, of course, BIM cannot fulfill that. We need something else as well. But it can be a very crucial and central tool for achieve it. There's a couple examples from the Finland. Rafael already mentioned about the Senaatti properties, and these are very good direction what we have done in Finland and other countries as well. I talk about in the break with Arto Kiviniemi, and he said that in UK you have a little bit similar kind of directions already ongoing. And as you see in Senaatti front page, they have our own BIM requirements, instructions. So you can see that there, and if you read between the lines in their strategy, you can really notice that it's part of their strategy, this BIM. They can differentiate from the competitors with the BIM already. And another example I already mentioned, this side. It's the Skanska, this is their published information in their website, what their CAO statement is. If you read this, building information modeling is an important tool for more efficient construction. BIM is method for detailed advanced planning, simulation, and building a project model in computer environment, thereby avoiding problems at the later stage. We are now working intensively in all business units to assume a leading position into this field. BIM is not something entirely new, nor is it unique to Skanska, but we are convinced that our expanded expertise and use of BIM will give us both competitive advantages and higher profitability in our project. I think it's this kind of statement in CEO level, this side of the company is very unique in the world. And as they're saying, it's not entirely new. It's not some kind of piloting anymore. It's already implemented in their processes. I just listed 6 steps, what I'm seeing, how to adapt successful BIM. We have already talked about this kind of social exercise, but of course the fundamental problem very usually in construction company is a motivation. We are not used to change, and this is what you need to be at first. And courage, decisions, and money. You need to have a balls to do right decisions. And of course you need to have money. We haven't used to investigate it in research or softwares in the construction industry. We are a very conservative industry. I think everybody knows that. So, example, I just talked about also on a break that if we look at the construction company's IT department, I have actually followed in a couple cases in Finland. They are implementing a PLM, Project Life Management System, and ERP, Enterprise Relation Systems. So those are thousands, 100,000 euros, that kind of implementation. When I'm trying to selling software to the site or the project people in vertical operation in company, if I say that software costs 8,000 euros or 6,000 euros, it's totally misunderstanding that something can cost so much, some software, which is some kind of abstract thing. It's not a concrete. And that's the really problem and some kind of handbrake at the moment. Of course, we need the training and know-how in order to implement it. It's very important. And I think Ravel mentioned already that there is already some kind of examples that I think already again mentioned the Skanska's case that they have internally trained tens of people doing BIM at the site. And it's very important. And it needs to come from the upstream. And actually this training costs much, much more than software. So that's where we should emphasize in adoption of BIM. And of course, networking and partnering, I wanted to highlight it because construction industry is very fragmented. So we need to have a networking and partnering. We need to really consider this one. And I think that we have succeeded quite well in Finland. It's a small country. And everybody knows each other. It's very easy to develop and do research and start this kind of pilot projects together. So I think we have succeeded already, and it's also very fundamental thing for Tekla. It's like a test laboratory in Finland. We can piloting, we can discuss the precast fabricators, steel fabricators, engineering offices. We know all these people already. Then pilots, of course, we need to succeed in pilots. This is very crucial. And once we are succeeded, we need to really be capable to telling these success stories. These are very crucial things. And I think that Raval showed a couple success stories already. So we have already these kind of success stories. And then, should we take a small steps or giant leap? This is a very good example. I don't know which one is the right answer. There is no right answer, obviously. It depends on your resources, your competencies, that how widely you try to push BIM with the bang. So this is the good example. This is the winner of Finnish model competition. We had a BIM forum held by Tekla a month ago in Helsinki, and we awarded this very simple residential building, the best BIM project in Finland 2010. It was very successful. Why? should we start the most complex one and then unsucceeded the first pilot? This is a very good example. Or why try to do everything in one go? So why we should just pick one thing that we started to use in the first pilot? Let's do it like a class detection is actually, Rafa mentioned that the Revit is equal than BIM in US, but it's also BIM is equal than the class detection in Navisworks. It's another message actually in the US. But actually I have one good example from the Middle East. Our Middle East office, they are complaining that they don't have mechanical models. We are not interested to use BIM because we don't have mechanical models. But they have already structural models. But why? They are starting from the structural models. Example, frame of building, it's always in a critical line of your project. And in order to manage that, I think it's a very good start of the BIM. But I don't know, we have some cultural differences, obviously. What is pulling the BIM handbrake? I think that these are the real reasons: motivation, attitude, laziness, ignorance, surrendering after first unsucceeded pilot. As in the US, it's saying that if you are an entrepreneur, that you're not really an entrepreneur if you haven't done at least one bankrupt. And after then, you will succeed it. So there is a lot of these kind of success stories that you have done a number of the bankrupts, but eventually you will succeed. So, and I would say that these are just excuses. Of course, there's challenges, there's obstacles at the moment, there's technical challenges. IFC standard is not ready, but it has developed, it has taken giant leap, I would say, during last 2 years when I have been in Tekla. It's a reality at the moment. But still, I say that these are excuses. You can start a BIM with the smaller steps and get the benefit out of it. And just, sorry. What deliverables? I just want to summarize that the deliverables, of course, ultimate goal needs to be that more profitable projects, more profitable company, if you're using BIM. It needs to bring some money. It's of course, the ultimate goal in company strategy. You need to get the money out. That's how economic market works. But before that you can really calculate and show it, of course, there are some other benefits that you can gain with the BIM. Example in, I would say, a particular country over the Atlantic Ocean, where it was 2 days ago elections, so maybe you know what I'm talking about, but there is some huge BIM hype, and already clients and developers, they require models, even they don't know necessarily how to utilize it in a construction project, but you need to be involved in BIM. And there is that kind of benefits already, or needs, and I would say also that you can really differentiate in order to use BIM. And there's lots of young people that I would say that the BIM really brings sexiness to the construction industry. So if you would see me 3 years ago, I think that I'm not so sexy in 3 years ago when I was at boots in the building site. Now I'm talking about the BIM here in the suit. But of course, we have already noticed that it brings interesting to the youngsters. And I would say that we can really get in the construction industry more talented people to study construction engineering because of their BIM. All right, and end of the presentation, I just want to say that if you think you have reached your potential, think again. Thank you, Aita. I don't know how to spell it, but kiitos. Tack så mycket.
Head sõbrad, me leppisime niimoodi kokku, Teemu, et me küsimusi ootame peale selle, kui kõik 3 selle valdkonna eelstaadiumi inimesed on esinenud. Nii et ma palun nüüd Martini ja siis, kui kõik 3 esinejat on esinenud, siis vastate kõik koos. Meie möödunud aastase novembrise projektijuhi päeva ja tänase päeva vahel toimus veel üks suurejooneline üritus, kus selle valdkonna asjad olid Eestimaal väga kenas kohas ja väga esinduslikult esitatud. EA-Reng, meie selle valdkonna projektorganisatsioon, tähistas oma 20. aastapäeva ja minu üllatuseks esines seal Martin, hea koolivend Tallinna Tehnikaülikoolist, iseõppija, aga juba tõsine tegija, seksikas noor mees punase lipsuga.